Hey guys, thanks for joining me again here at Mountaintop 9. I want to take a few minutes to talk about the Samhain album, Unholy Passion. There's the CD right there. Now, this is the version I grew up listening to. I had the Final Descent cassette tape, and the versions of the songs on there are the same as on this CD release, okay? They're the remixed and re-recorded versions where Danzig re-recorded guitar work. He redid vocal tracks. Now, let's talk about the music a little bit on this album. The title track, for one, Unholy Passion. It's got more of that tribal sounding drum work, for lack of a better word, it's just a very unique thing. Samhain was very much about, most bands have lead guitar riffs, right? You have your main riff and that's the focal point. With Samhain, it almost seemed like the drums were the #1 thing. It seemed like Danzig was basing his songwriting around the drum work. Like he'd do the drum beat first and then build the guitar and the bass around that drum work. He'd build it, that was the framework in which he would fucking erect his house, as it were. And I mean that pun on purpose. When we're talking about a song like Unholy Passion, you can find an interview with him where he says the song is all about fucking. That's how he says it. Unashamedly, he says this song is about fucking. Now, what I like about this song is just the mood that it has. It's enveloping, it's very dark and oppressive, and it draws you in. It's a seductive song, though. And the thing about this album is this song is just hinting at how dark the album's gonna get. This album gets much darker, but this song has a very seductive flair to it. I like the drum work, I like the feel of it, and I really like those keyboard notes towards the end of the song. You can hear them real good, and they remind me of the keyboard work that he would do on the song Night Chill. That opening track on Final Descent. I love that tune. I love Night Chill. It has a nice 80s atmosphere. It reminds me of television shows like The Hitchhiker that you would see in the 80s. So I really like that. That's what those little keyboard notes remind me of. They're very fluttering and they've got that nice 80s sound to them. Creepy stuff. Sounds like 80s horror films. So that's Unholy Passion. You gotta like that one. And also the line where he says, this thing that hangs down my leg, I feel for you. Something like that. That gives Danzig an opportunity in the live setting, to grab at his crotch like he's Michael Jackson or some shit. And I've seen him do it. He did that. I swear I've seen him do it performing this song on Samhain reunion shows, as well as when he do the song Seventh House, okay? Seventh House off Black Acid Devil. Well, there's that part in there where he says, free your body with my gun. I swear I've seen him grab at his crotch like he's fucking Michael Jackson or something, okay? And so that track, this track, Unholy Passion, it gives him the opportunity to do that if he's in the mood. So that's kind of funny. The next track on here, All Hell. I like this better than the Misfits version, All Hell Breaks Loose. I think this version, I like the sound of it. The drums are harder hitting in my opinion, and the guitar has that nice death rock feel to it, that nice fuzzy feel. And I always get in my mind when I listen to this version, I always see the band coming out covered with blood, I see Danzig with the blood and everything, so it brings to mind that strong visual, the Samhain version. And I like Danzig the way he does the vocals on here. I like the vocal track. It's strong, it's forceful, and it's potent. Now, the next track, Morabund, it's okay. It's nothing great, but it's not bad either. It's kind of got this nice little swaying feel to it. I like that drum work, the way it that's really kind of tribal sounding. If you were going to describe something as tribal, that's a very interesting drum beat during the parts where he's saying morabund, it just kind of keeps going like that. But other than that, this song's kind of take it or leave it. Morabund, you don't really, it's kind of a disposable part of the album. Now, The Hungry End. When you get to that, this song is incredible. First of all, this song, it's like what Danzig said in an interview that he did with the guy named Pusshead. This guy that did all the illustrations for Metallica t-shirts and well, anyway, he interviewed Danzig for Thrasher magazine in the mid-'80s. And Danzig told him that Unholy Passion, this album, for him was like a stab out at people. He basically wanted this album to be confrontational. He wanted it to be uncompromising. And that's what a song like The Hungry End is. This song, in Danzig's own words, he basically says this song is from the point of view of death. And death as this force, as a living entity that's running amok in the world, and he's never satiated. He wants constant death. It's what feeds him. It's what he consumes. It's what he lives on. And so that's what's so cool about this song. I love the high-pitched guitar notes. There's a lot of dissonance in here, and stuff like this is very similar. I like a lot of raw black metal and stuff like that. I like dissonance. I like the atmosphere that it creates. A lot of people can't get into something like this, but The Hungry End, it delivers that in abundance, and those high-pitched guitars and the dissonant, it really gets to you, and it sucks you into the atmosphere, into the hellish world that Danzig's creating on here. Because let's face it, if these were the only types of songs that Danzig ever wrote, say he only came out with stuff like The Hungry End, he would have never made it in the music industry. No one would even be talking about Danzig today, okay? This would be cult stuff, extremely underground, because it's not commercial at all, okay? Something like this isn't for everybody. This is the reason that Samhain was never as big as the Misfits. Because your average person is not going to get into a song like The Hungry End or I Am Misery, a song we're going to get to in a minute. It's just people can't grasp stuff like this in general, your average person. Your average person could, tap their shoe along to a song like 20 Eyes or Skulls or something like that. Or Static Age because it's catchy. This isn't catchy. The Hungry End isn't catchy. This is for people that want to dive into dark, hellish atmosphere and dissonance and those high-pitched guitar notes. So this is black. This is real, true, black, dark, hellish music, and The Hungry End is really good. This has very morbid lyrics in it. He says stuff in here about a baby and a meat slicer and other words. He's kind of unintelligible. A lot of the vocals kind of blend together. He's got that drawl going the way he's delivering the words. He's not, enunciating every word. So some of it's very cryptic and it's hard to ascertain exactly what he's saying. But you can piece it together if you take the time, and the lyrics in here are very macabre indeed. Now we get on to Misery Tomb. Now what this is this just takes some vocal tracks from the song I Am Misery and just kind of plays them, all right? And it doesn't have any other accompaniment other than some bass, okay? So it's just bass and some of Danzig's howling vocals. And this just sets a nice little ambience, this track, okay? And, it's kind of interesting. It sounds like a guy being tortured, basically. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a guy locked up in a dungeon and they're fucking pulling out his fingernails and smashing his nutsack in a vice or something, okay? Lighting his dick on fire. I don't know, but it sounds like a guy being tortured. And you hear that dark, ominous voice there a couple times where it sounds like it's going, Doyle. It sounds like it's saying Doyle. I don't know why. Does anyone else notice that at the very end how it sounds like it's saying Doyle? Now you can hear it again in the song I Am Misery because, of course, this takes vocals from that. But anyway, let's move on and let's talk about I Am Misery. This works very well with The Hungry End because, once again, this is another song that's a stab out at people. This song is from the point of view of misery as a force, and what it wants to do is it wants to just torture people. It wants to it wants to revel in the pain of humanity. It wants to see people just taken and just fucking treated in the most cruel way possible. That's what these lyrics are about. It's about misery, just enjoying and laughing at the misery that people feel. And then the music to this just wants to slice you apart. The music in this track wants to cut your skin off your body and leave you just hanging on a meat hook with blood draining down. That's what the music to this does. Just like The Hungry End. It's very confrontational, it's uncompromising, and it just slices you apart, those high-pitched, dissonant notes, and it's just too much for your average person. Once again, this is why Samhain isn't as popular as something like the Misfits or even Danzig. This isn't the whoa-whoa punk rock of the Misfits, and this isn't the bluesy, catchy, hard rock of Danzig. This is just total blackness. It's just so dark. And I like the way on this album Danzig is wanting to like see things from the perspective of death, as if death was speaking on the song and saying how he wants to see people dead in all manner of ways. And on a track like I Am Misery, it's wanting to revel in the torture and in the pain and cruelty that exists in humanity. And that's why, so I mean, this album, I mean, it's bleak. It paints a bleak, grim picture. And yeah, just great passionate singing on here. Danzig's just going all out. This is when he was just putting his voice out into the wind and just letting it all go. He could really sing during this time period. I mean, this is no holds barred in the vocal department. The music is in your face and it takes no fucking prisoners. And yeah, man, Unholy Passion is a pivotal release by Samhain because it's taking a further step into utter bleakness and just this grim sensibility. I mean, it's going a step further than Initium. It really is. It's going a step further just from the very first song, Unholy Passion. You're drifting and swaying with this seductive, sexual type song. And that's one thing, but where I feel this album really makes its point, where it really shows its true intentions, is on the tracks The Hungry End and I Am Misery. And like I said, if this is the only type of music Danzig had ever done, I think he would have made an imprint. Sure, it would have made some kind of impact, but it would have been very underground, and this stuff would have never... the reason we're talking about this music like we are, and the reason so many people have heard it, is because of the Misfits, and because of the stuff he did in Danzig, you know. Because this is really cult, dark stuff on here. So yeah, every Danzig fan should have this right here. It's an important album. It's just an essential release. So that's all I've got to say. And stay tuned for more, because I'm going to have a lot more good videos for you guys. I'll see you guys again next time.